how do you decide whether an idea is worth pursuing?
I think you need to be realistic and look at the market. See if there's any other competitors. And if you do have that is similar to your product, what does your product make unique? And how many other competitors are there? Because I have one competitor, so I think I'm good for now. But like, let's say if there's like 10 other competitors, it's a whole different story, because then 10 other people have the same idea and launch it as well. So I think you need to be very realistic and tell yourself 80% of your ideas, someone else made it.
Where do you get this mindset that sort of you have to always be on the go and learn? Are your parents entrepreneurs, or where did you get that? All right. Hello, guys. Welcome to the episode. Today we have Twan Luttik, aka T1, a friend and an app developer. How are you, brother?
Pretty good. And you?
I'm good as well. We met actually, it was 2 days ago at an event.
This Sunday, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And it was very brief, but I just knew we were going to click. And I'm very excited for this episode because you have had a lot of experience developing cool projects.
A lot of different things, I would say.
Yeah. We're going to dive deep. So starting initially, what got you started into coding and sort of building projects and startups?
I think back when I was younger, at my 15 age, I started to discover Minecraft plugins. You know, the game Minecraft, it's a very big game. And I'm like, I like computers. I always knew I like technology. And I think just one day, just like I saw a tutorial video of like how to make a Minecraft plugin. And I'm like, I just did it. I just watched the video and tried to recreate what he is doing in the video. And I think that was the moment something clicked in me. I'm like, I make something in code and I see it on my screen. And I think that is the satisfaction of being a programmer and able to build things. So I think that was the moment it clicked for me. Like, yeah, this is something I want to do in long term.
How old were you when that happened?
I think like 14, 15.
14, 15. And you were not born here?
No, I'm originally from the Netherlands.
And when did you move here?
I think almost 6 years ago, I moved to the States. And then a small 3 months later, then we moved to Canada. And I found my sweet spot.
Canada's a beautiful. How would you compare it to Netherlands per se?
I think both countries were beautiful. I definitely have to say Vancouver in specific, it's very unique with the view we have, like the mountains, and just that everything is so tied together. You know how Vancouver is just, this is our only spot of escape. Like if you want to go any other big cities, you have to fly or drive at least 5 hours to the next big city. So I have to say Vancouver is a very unique place in my place.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So at 14, 15, you started playing Minecraft and you're like, hey, I could code, I could build some stuff. Where did you go from there? What was your first project? If you can run us through every single project and the timelines that took you to where you are right now.
So I think there's a huge jump between my 15 and until I was 17. I think in those 3 years, I only programmed in Java for Minecraft plugins. And I made a couple plugins with a total of like, I think 6,000 downloads. And well, back in that day, if I have to compare now, which is pretty big to me, I don't think my own app has 6,000 downloads. So being able to achieve that at that age is like amazing for me. So I think in that time of the 3 years, I have been just building a couple plugins and trying to improve my skills. And I think slowly after 3 years, I switched over to web development for the first time. And that was the moment I was introduced into Twitch programming, because I was looking at these people, how to program on stream, which is a very niche streaming segment, I would say. It's you don't see it much, especially Dutch people. They don't stream in the Dutch language. It's mostly English people, and that is like the way how I kind of switched over to web development and as well as streaming with programming, because I used to stream partially with gaming and coding at the same time. But then at some point I just fully transitioned over to like streaming, coding, and just keep building.
Yeah. I saw your stats. You had almost 1,000 hours streaming.
Yeah.
What were your key takeaways? I feel like, for example, these days, people wouldn't say Twitch is my place to learn programming. It'd be like more YouTube or other sorts of avenues. How come you landed on Twitch per se?
So I think one day I was looking at this streamer, and first I thought, oh, this guy is French, I hate him. So I just clicked away right away. And then I was just looking around for other streams, and then noticing there is not much streams which I like. I like just to watch just very quiet streams and people that are just focusing on the code part. So I came back to the same guy, and at some point, I think a couple of months after I tried to improve my web development skills, I kind of like asked that guy to like, hey, could I help with the project? And that is my way into how to learn programming, just to find communities on maybe Twitch or other places. I think it's just finding the right person that you look up for to improve yourself, basically.
I saw in the document you gave me, right? You had 8 projects that you've worked on.
Yeah.
I want to get into the details. Give me the tea. All the projects that you've worked on. Like, what problems were you solving? How did you come up with the ideas of doing each and every one of them?
So I definitely think that's an order of projects I did. I think the first, I think I put like 8 projects on the list.
Yeah.
So I think the first 6 projects, so the first 6, 5, I would definitely say they are just to improve my skills and to just keep building, and just like, if I'm sitting still, I'm not learning, right? So I need to have at least something to build, because then I feel like at least productive in that moment. So I definitely think the first 6 projects, they are just like kind of like a throwaway project, but like see it as improving yourself over time and keeping yourself up to date with the technology.
Where do you get this mindset that sort of you have to always be on the go and learn? Are your parents entrepreneurs, or where did you get that?
So my dad, he has his own welding company as a one-person company. And my parents are divorced, so my stepdad, he is always in IT as a security, some specialist, not sure what exactly. And my mom is just a teacher on school. So I had mixed parents in kind of different markets. But I think I always was, as a kid, like active and productive. Like I was always doing something. It's either helping my dad with his work or helping other people around me. So I think I always had this, I can't sit still, I need to do something. And I think because of my hobby, which is programming, and I was able to continue with that, I think that gives you a really perfect combination. Like you have something you love to do, which is your hobby, in my term is programming. And I think that is just such a perfect combination. You're a hardworking person and you do what you love to do. And I don't think there's anything else you want more than a hobby as your work, right?
Exactly. So your hobby is programming, and there's a lot of doubts out there that AI will take over all programming in the foreseeable future. What do you have to say about that, per se? Like,
yeah, I definitely think it's difficult to get started, because of course you have all these AI editors, and I think what I see mostly on social media, that people say like, oh, AI is going to take over. But I think it's as well important how to use the AI chat. Like, let's say you're a beginner in this programming world, I don't think I'm going to tell you to use AI. I think you need to understand the fundamentals about the programming language. And at some point, you'll be able to use AI to just speed up what you're building. I don't think it's helping at all, but I do think it's useful as a tool. So
What AI tools do you use on your day-to-day?
so for my code editor, it's Windsurf. I use ChatGPT and I use Claude AI, and then it's a little bit of a mix of everything. It depends what kind of usage. Let's say I need to like convert a list into a specific data list. I use my local AI. It's just easier at that point. It really depends on what kind of task I'm asking for.
So it's interesting you didn't mention Cursor. Is there a reason for that?
Oh, Cursor. Well, I used to use Cursor, but then Windsurf came out of the market, and it seems to be they have a good pricing model for what you get. So it's good enough in my case. I don't think I will be like nitpicking every editor of Cursor is better than Windsurf. They might be better, but like I'm not overusing it too much. I still want to have control in my code because I want to be able to change it later on without seeing AI. Oh, it made a component line about 1,000 lines. It does things good, but not like you still need to put the work into to make it good.
If you could choose your top 3 favorite programming languages?
Oh, I mean, definitely TypeScript. TypeScript. Well, I've been only using TypeScript for the most time, so it's TypeScript with React, and I think those are the 2 main languages I've used today. But as a full stack developer, so I'm using as well backend technologies and everything that comes around with the full stack.
So right now you're developing 2 projects, 2 applications.
Yeah.
There's the CodeCheck one, which if you can dive deeper, that'd be great. And then we'll move to the other one.
Definitely. Yeah, CodeCheck is, I think it's everywhere in the world, but I've seen it in Vancouver. They call it specifically CodeCheck. And it's when you go to the club or some kind of venue, you are able to check in your code for a couple $. And it's always, I see people taking pictures of the ticket, and it seems just like hell to manage it in your business with all the different tickets and all the different hangers. So I think one of the clubs in Vancouver came to me for the idea, and I'm like, well, I like to build things and I want to build something unique, and I think this product doesn't really exist yet on the market that is specifically for the clubbing area. So that was the whole reason I started the CodeCheck, and I think it's a brilliant idea, and I think we have a very unique product.
So how does it work exactly? If somebody comes and they put their code, they hang it up, and then how does the ticket get transferred and it's uniquely identified by the code that they have?
So you come to the club or to the venue. Of course, we have different flows. Let's say you're a new customer. The club will be able to put like some QR code where you're able to visit the webpage, and then you put in your phone number, and that is our pre-registration process to make the onboarding way easier for the customer. So the business will be able to see like, oh, you have checked in, or if they even show them temporary QR code after submitting the phone number. So what the business does, they either get your phone number from the app or scan your code you get. And then with an easy transaction, they just assign your item to that coat hanger. And the coat hanger has all fixed numbers to make it easier. And once they put it in the system, it's either you get an SMS notification or you have the app installed and you can just show your app as a passport or some kind of personal ticket holder. So it's not much more different than a ticket app, but then specifically for the cloakroom service.
And how does the transaction of the monetary how does that work? Do you guys handle it, or it's just, again, cash and card readers that they...
For now, we have the payments outside of the app, so the business does the payments. There's even some events they have 𝐄𝐏 for free, so the business will only pay the platform, and then all the customers they get, it's all free 𝐄𝐏. So it really depends on the situation.
You have no competitors in this market?
There's one competitor technically that came on Shark Tank. I don't even want to say the name because the name is so confusing, but I will try. It's called 𝐿𝐃𝐄𝐑. I cannot even speak it out. It's such an odd name, but they have kind of the same concept, but I think what they are missing is the cheaper price for the product and the simple app we have. Like our app is so unique and we make it so simple. I think our competitor is way too difficult to understand. So I think we have such a unique product that does not even exist.
Can you mention which club in Vancouver approached you initially?
It's called 𝐿𝐃𝐄𝐑.
Oh, I've never heard that.
Well, it's a known club, so I think people recognize it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Are you much of a clubbing fan, or?
Clubbing, like nights till 2 a.m. sort of partying style, as you were saying?
Well, it could lead until 6 a.m. It depends what kind of clubbing you mean.
Oh, yeah. Well, in Europe, I know they go much longer, but in Vancouver, they usually stop, mostly.
Yeah, it's apparently BC has a very interesting regulations. It's very specific in some terms, like some clubs, they are open, but they are not allowed to sell drinks, but some of them still do. It's a gray area, the regulations I've heard. So there's a couple ones that are open until late.
Oh yeah, you seem to.
Yeah, I seem to be investigating around.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not the biggest clubbing guy personally, but I mostly enjoy house parties with close friends. Clubs are like a couple times a year, but like on rare occasions.
Yeah, I haven't done in a long time, so just been building around.
Right. Yeah, it's part of your business, so you have to know sort of all these
details.
Well,
I had a time where I did party a lot, so I was able to see the party scene in Vancouver and see how everything is working. And well, after I got the idea, it's just building until a good product.
Yeah, it's interesting. So on Sunday when we met, you showed me that on average you had almost 12 hours screen time per day, which translates to, it was 6 days, it was like already 70 hours a week. How can you manage that? So can you go over to that?
I think in this part, you have to be very hard for yourself. I've noticed around my friends group, there's no one not like me, but like us as the hard worker entrepreneurs. It's hard to take that step to just make a switch for yourself and just go work, just get your product out. Everything else is not important, only your business. And as I'm in a position to be in America, like as for a European, I think it's very unique to be here. I don't see much Dutch people around here. There must be a reason. So I think I have to take this opportunity to just reach my goal, and I have to work every single day to just improve myself and get my product finished or whatever I'm building.
When did that switch happen? Was there a switch, or was it like a gradual sort of incline to where your mindset is?
I think the moment when I came to America, I thought like, this is exactly what I wanted. I need to take this opportunity, and that was the moment I realized, I need to go for it.
Yeah, it's truly interesting how the cultures of European and North American is so different. Because in Europe, you can go, for example, in midday, you'd go to coffee shops. Everywhere's so packed. Everyone's just enjoying themselves. It's more of a community, relaxed basis. But then here, everyone's like, go. We need to, if you go to Silicon Valley, it's even like much more intense. Can you speak on that? Was it like a shock, or you kind of thrive in these?
Well, I had two moments where I had like, oh, this is a reality shock. And I think the first moment is when we flew into New York. I'm like, this city is so much bigger than the movies tells you. I'm like, this is just insane. Like these buildings are so big. This city itself, when we were driving from the airport, it's just so massive. And that was a moment, wow, that was a reality check. Like, movies are different than what you actually see, which is obvious. And I think my second reality check is when I came into Vancouver. It's just, this feels like America. This doesn't feel like Europe. It's so much different. And it really, like, for as a European, you don't really expect to be in a lifestyle of an American. Like, it's so much different.
Do you miss Europe and its lifestyle, or do you think this is your home now?
I definitely say this is my home. I do see just missing Europe, how they are evolving. Like, I used to be in construction, so even like infrastructure interests me. So I just want to know how other countries, like my own country, is improving in their whole image. So yeah, of course I miss my own country, but this is definitely my home.
You just mentioned you were in construction. Can you dive deeper into that?
Yeah, definitely. So before the whole developer experience, I'm a dropout, of course. So as every developer, I used to do electrician as my school education. So I had 4 days of work and 1 day in school. So the 4 days I had always school. And this is a part of me. I always want to work. I always want to do something with my hands or be busy. So that was another way for me out, to just kind of skip school in a way and just get started with working. And I think it as well comes from my parents' side, because my dad, he is a welder. So I think the construction feeling comes from my dad's side.
And how old was this?
I was like 14, 15. So when I had my construction job, I also had work in the weekend. And at the same time, I was doing programming until 4 in the morning. So even back then, I was just full on doing stuff.
How many hours of sleep do you get?
I think like 8 maximum.
Okay, it's still...
So I do try to get as much as sleep as possible, but the first 10 minutes I wake up, I'm out of my home. I'm at the office.
Yeah, we spoke about this on Sunday.
Yeah.
How sort of you love to not just work at home, you go to like a specific shared office space.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's smart to do so, but then in my opinion, it would make sense if you have a team and you're working on a team, but you're just solo grinding there.
Solo grinding, yeah.
Yeah. How do you manage distractions and avoid them?
Yeah, for distractions, you need to just you need to tell yourself, like, don't do anything else than just work. Like, no playing games, don't watch movies, because everything you do that is not coding is going to distract you no matter what. And I think putting yourself in a good place, like for me as we work, it's just like you are with other people that are working. You're not going to watch a movie. You're not going to play a game for 10 minutes in an office like that, because you're going to work like other people. And I think you just need to tell yourself, like, hey, just get working. That's the thing you need to do, and that's it.
Yeah, I see. It
requires a lot of self-control.
Yeah, strong mind.
Strong mindset, yeah.
Yeah. And the shared office is an environment that sort of, it's engraved that when you're there, you just have to work. There's nothing else to do.
Well, it's as well, like, I come there, I see my, friends, colleagues, co-workers, and, like, I don't think it's even proper to do anything else than just work. Like, I don't think you want to see people playing games in the office. So definitely that.
It's nice. I got to try it.
Yeah, you should come with me someday.
I will. I'll take you on that. So the code check app.
Yeah.
Where is it in the development currently?
I think we are at a stage of, you can try it out, you can use it. I definitely think we need to improve on how to use the code check app, because I think one of the hardest parts about a business is selling this to another business. because it's a B2B product. So I think we are ready to be used, but we need to improve our explanation how to use the app. And that is one of the hardest parts I'm working on.
Who's the team on this?
Just me.
You were solo doing this.
Solo doing this. Well, I started out, I think, like 450 days ago. So it has been in development over a year, and it took a lot of time to get the perfect design out.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you're doing this, and then your parallel app, there's another project you're working on.
Yes.
Can you dive deep into that as well?
So the second app is called Rave Port. So Rave and then a port as a portal or some kind of entrance. We haven't really decided on the name, but we want to put something out so at least it's usable. And this is a app is specifically for events and for managing events, because one of the issues in Vancouver here, a lot of people are getting questions like, hey, can I get guest list through Instagram DMs? And they are using different platforms to like manage their events. And one of my colleagues, he came to me and asked like, hey, what do you think about this idea? And I'm like, well, this is amazing because it's in the same market as my app, and it makes totally sense to work together with these two apps. So our idea is to make a unique clubbing, raving, some kind of community events app for all kind of clubs.
Sort of managing their database system and guest list sort of ability.
Yeah, and like trying to bring all the different platforms, because you see a club uses Linktree or have their own personal website, and then they use a different ticketing website, and then for managing guest list, it's either they use Instagram DMs or they use the platform, the ticketing platform itself, because some of them they support. And there's another platform you can like do reservations, specifically only reservations, because in BC you have a law for illegal parties. You are allowed to have them, but you need to have a list, and some people use a reservation software. So that is already 4 different platforms they are using. And if we can immerse that into one platform, that will be amazing. And we have 𝐄𝐏𝐃, and it makes even more sense to mix the events app with the 𝐄𝐏𝐃 app. So that's the whole drive to make a second app, even though there's a lot of work for it. But
yeah, this one is much more complicated than the initial app, the 𝐄𝐏𝐃 only.
yeah.
I think it's a good idea. I've never had guest lists through like Instagram. I think the main sort of avenue for sharing links is Linktree.
Yeah, Linktree or some other alternative.
Yeah. Have you finalized the UI UX of this?
No, but I think my strategy to like think about UX and UI is I just look on some other websites for designs, and I will try to take a copy of someone's work and literally use that, and I will just make my own flavor to it. So by making iterations of the current design, I can just make it a little bit different or a little bit better or a little bit more specific in my terms to get at least started, because I'm not a UX person. I can make nice UX designs, but coming up with something, it's very difficult. So I just take something from the internet as a design and copy that and put that in place to just start off, because I think it is important if you want to launch a product, you need to do it ASAP. There's no need to have a wait list or to wait for something. You just need to ship it and launch it.
How are you funding these projects?
Well, it's mostly self-funded, so it's either I have a job in the meantime for a little bit and then stop with that work and just survive on the money I have. And that's how I did that the last couple of years. It's just trying to figure my way out. It's just, I don't know my future. I just let the future come up my road.
How old are you?
25.
25 years of age.
25.
Very cool, bro. I'm excited to see what you can cook up. And
Definitely.
I wish you all the best. How do you decide whether an idea is worth pursuing?
I I think you need to be realistic and look at the market. See if there's any other competitors. And if you do have that is similar to your product, what does your product make unique? So I think you need to look at like what features does your product make more unique to the other product, and how many other competitors are there. Because I have one competitor, so I think I'm good for now. But like, let's say if there's like 10 other 𝐄𝐏 competitors, it's a whole different story, because then 10 other people have the same idea, can take the same features you have and launch it as well. So I think you need to be very realistic and tell yourself 80% of your ideas, someone else made it.
How's the development process? So you go about right away with the MVP, or like, how does it work?
So let's say with the Waveboard app, the idea is to launch as fast as possible. I think I'm writing the backend first, so all the general features, so events, creating events, logging in, just a couple of simple ones. I build that out first, making sure the database structure is somewhat good. Then I will start building the app. So I will make sure I have all the screens in, all the logic in, and then I will put all the designs in. And then I will be at a point I have some sort of working app. It's maybe not the best looking, but it's at least a viable product. You can push it to the App Store. It's good enough to be reviewed by Apple. And once it's out, it's really easy to make iterations on your app. So I think it's a really key part. Don't wait too long on building something. Make sure it's as fast as possible out. And a good foundation, make sure you are making your updates faster.
So I see you're a pure coder per se.
Definitely a pure coder, yeah.
Yeah. And with any successful business, there's two sides to it. There's a pure coding aspect, or the chief technology team. And then there's the business team who kind of manages the sales and how to get this to the market in the best possible way, and how to structure and frame the marketing aspect. So you're trying to do both yourself. Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm trying to do both myself and improve the business aspect more, where I can improve myself in.
It's hard life, bro.
Yeah, it's the things I'm doing to try to, for marketing or whatsoever on the business side. As an example, I try to put it up like tweets with an image like, hey, we have a new feature released, and then I will take a screenshot and use Blender and like use kind of cool techniques to make a cool 3D product shot in Blender. So I would not say my art is the best in that, but like I try to put something at least out so it's on the internet and people see it. It doesn't matter how bad your content is. I think the important part is putting it out. If you're learning, but like it's definitely important to make quality content as well.
My question here, I'll challenge you a little bit. My question is that, wouldn't it be more feasible if you could channel all your focus towards your hobby and what you love and what you're great at, which is coding, and full focus on that, and then sort of give the marketing and sales to another expert whose hobby and life is all around that, and sort of build a team around it? Or are you opposed to that and you sort of want to do everything yourself?
No, I definitely want to have other people to be involved in my project. I have a really good friend in the Netherlands. I'm trying to have him on a project, but like I think it's very hard for people to like, not everyone want to give up their life to pursue something, or to like me in this in case, because I gave up everything on my life to be here, and I think it's a huge step for a lot of people to take that. And like, if I want to have someone in my team, I need them a lot more than they think, and it's hard to find those kind of people.
It is very hard. I definitely agree. The life to the top, the life of an entrepreneur, everyone says it's very lonely, and it's like 12-hour works, as we see, like you don't stop putting your head down and just working for years, and maybe you don't see results right away. And selling that dream to someone else, that's the pivotal moment where your company can go here, and then with a good talent, it could just skyrocket. So I feel like it's a good resource handling to be in search for that person. And yeah, I wish you all the best, bro, again.
Definitely, yeah.
It's cool. Have you ever had a pivot on a project? And if so, what led to that decision?
A pivot from another person.
No, a pivot for example, you were pursuing a path for a couple months and you're like, hey, maybe this path is not it. And then you had a pivot to like another sort of angle.
Okay. I mean, I definitely had my moments in being here in Canada after the first startup where I worked for that failed. There was a moment I'm like, I have to go back to the Netherlands. I'm not able to find a job in America, or as well at the same time I told myself, no, I'm not good enough to be an engineer at some place. So I had to pivot myself. Okay, I need to go back to the Netherlands and find a job there. So at some point I was able to find a job that even offered me like 10 grand in euros to even move back to the Netherlands. And I think that was another pivot for me. I'm like, no, this is the moment I have to stay here. This is the moment I have to continue and pursue whatever I had in the future in my life. At that moment, I did not even know I was building 𝐄𝐏𝐃. So I think that was a pivot moment to myself. Yeah, I need to continue building on myself towards something. So I would say that was some kind of a pivot for myself towards myself.
What was the initial startup that failed?
It's called Notify. Notify is, in simplified words, back in the day, YouTube had an issue with notifications. So if you subscribe more than 3 people, you're not able to get more notifications than those 3 people. And I think there was a huge issue with making one platform for all social media. So you have one feed for seeing TikTok, seeing Twitch, seeing YouTube, seeing Spotify podcasts, you name it. So that was one of the first companies I joined. I even have a tattoo of it.
No way, that's their logo.
That's the logo.
Oh my God.
So I was definitely really invested into the company. And at some point it failed and I had to find something else. And you are alone in Vancouver with your friends from your last company, and what do?
So that's the reason you came to North America.
Yeah.
How did the story unfold? Did they find you or you found them?
That was the stream I asked for, hey, could I join in your project? And they said yes. So it came actually from Twitch, this first startup.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a very unique story, I would say.
What's the ideal world if you could paint me it in the next 5 years with your projects currently or your life in general? What are you striving for? What's the end result?
I definitely have my bucket list for the next 5 years. So I'm at a position where I feel like, okay, 𝐄𝐏𝐃 is currently in a good position where I can start off finally with confidence. I think the next couple 3 to 5 years, I definitely hope at that point I will have my Canadian visa for PR or some passport citizenship. I would be able to go back to Europe and the US to just market my app, because I feel like there's a huge market in Europe and in America for 𝐄𝐏𝐃 and the Waveport events app. So I definitely see myself I'm expecting for the Waveport customers next week. So it's just a matter of time how things are going and how fast it goes. But I definitely see a good future for the next 5 years.
What's your typical day in your life? What's your day to day? If you can pay me when you wake up, what do you do in the activity, and when do you go to bed?
So my day starts at between 7 and 8 a.m. I wake up and I think the first 20 minutes I will be at my home towards the WeWork office. That's where I go to every day. It's been a wonderful place for me. I have been enjoying that so much. And I think my day today is literally I be at the WeWork office at before 8-ish. And I sit mostly around after 2-3 p.m. It really depends how my day is, because often I go to my colleagues and have a meeting there and continue working. Or I just stay at the office until 7 p.m. ish. And at that point, like, don't get me wrong, the office is amazing, but like sometimes I just need to be in close and have my own space for a little bit. And then mostly I just go after work, I go home, I get some work done until 11 p.m. and I just get to bed.
That's a life.
It's a very simple life. And then many times people ask me like, hey, how's your day? I'm like, same as yesterday. Not much to it.
What do you have to eat? What do you eat?
It's always something. Sometimes I eat at my friend's place, but I just grab something simple. It's either I make rice and chicken as food, or I just grab something from the store. It's just I have to put more attention to what I eat and to my health, but it's been building time, so need to take care of the building part and not my health part, which is not good.
Yeah, there definitely needs to be a balance there.
Yeah, for sure. That's I think as engineers, as us, we can definitely learn from that.
Yeah. Do you have any siblings?
I have one sister. She is 27. She's as well into tech. I think she works at ASML. I don't know if you ever heard about it, but it's a chip company in Europe. I think one of the biggest. So she's as well very technical.
I see. But she sort of hubbed in Europe and not North American lifestyles for her.
Yeah, my parents are not really that supportive in that part. They support what I do. I guess for them it's a huge step as well. Like, oh, my son is going to America and now he is not been home for 6 years. So I can see it's definitely a strange thing for them.
But it's a sort of a phase of life and it passes. It's the building phase, as you say.
Yeah. And I think every parent support what their child do, and I definitely can tell my parents support what I do. So I'm very thankful for that. So
into that conversation, sort of, do you want to have kids?
No, definitely not.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's it may be crazy, but I don't think there's enough time in my life to have kids. I can say that for now, but maybe it's going to change in the year of 20. But I think in this part of my life, I cannot see myself having children, because I have too many things that I want to do in my life and that I want to build towards to. So I hope that will change in 20 years time, that I want to have kids, or that I want to start a family. I really haven't really think about that part. It's maybe too early.
I see. What's the ideal day, for example, when your app is successful? What will be your ideal day looking like then?
I hope I'm able to network way more than I do now, because of course nowadays I just build. There's no connecting, there's no networking part at all, and I'm hoping to see in the next year that I will be able to connect more and go to places like to the US or to Europe to get this app into the hands of the club owners. So I definitely want to get involved into the networking part. So I hope that's going to change in the future.
Well, you networked and now you're here.
Exactly.
Look at that. Starting somewhere. All right. We are going to go to the last sort of section of the podcast, which is psychology questions.
Interesting.
So first one, what challenges you?
Good question, but I think having good friends and having family around you. It's been, I think, one of the hardest parts of my life. It's a part of I feel like I had a burnout in an emotional part where I feel like I don't have people around me, or I don't have close family around me. So I think that is one of the things that definitely challenged me.
How do you try to overcome that?
Um, well, I didn't. I had a time in my life, I think 3 years ago, when my first startup failed, where I worked for. I had a moment, I'm like, this feels the worst moment. I cried for months every day, and like didn't know what to do with the feelings. And I think at some point I was able to get over it somehow. I don't know how, but like I think it's as well just for yourself accepting like, hey, you are here alone. You are here in this entrepreneur mindset where you need to like be alone. It's a lonely road, as you said. So I think somehow I was able to get over it. It definitely not easy, but able to do it still. So
I mean, these sacrifices that you're doing for your life. Here, I'll challenge you a little bit. These sacrifices that you're doing, you only live once. So, is it worth it in the grand scheme of things? Why wouldn't you just stay home with parents, have a normal life, sort of, and have friends around you, enjoy life? Why wouldn't you do that and come here and feel these very harsh emotions?
exactly, like most people say, yeah, I'm staying in my safe spot, and I think in the entrepreneurship, you need to be outside of your comfort zone, because every time you're too comfortable in the current situation you are in, you're not growing. You're not overstepping your difficulties, which means being out of your comfort zone. So I think that's a part of it.
So when you grow to your maximum level and per se you have made it financially, will you still work? Do you love the work that much, or do you want to get to a certain level and you're like, okay, I want to retire and now I want to enjoy? What is it looking like?
It's a good question to say that in a couple of years' time. Of course, the money is going to change a person. And I think if I would have done it for the money, I would not be even here in Canada. I think I have great opportunities in the Netherlands I can take easily, because of course remote work is going down. So finding work remotely, it's already very difficult. So I think I would see myself still definitely building. I don't know if I'm building something new in the future. I really want to have 𝐄𝐏 to be expanding in multiple markets, especially in the events space. Just not only cloakroom service, but the Waveport app. I want to have that become a part of 𝐄𝐏, and I just want to expand into this space as much as possible, because I feel like this is such a unique opportunity. I think I need to just pursue this so big and so immensely insane big. I just want to be successful in this. So
Who do you look up to?
I look up to that people that work insanely a lot. Like, I think it's a little bit cringe to say, but saying like Elon Musk, well, here's a person, he works, I think, an insane amount of hours. He's putting himself in a position where it doesn't matter where he lives. I think he lives in a cubicle, right? So I think people that work hard, I can look up to. So not specific people, just hard workers.
Is that because they sort of try to solve humanity's problems and are not just being selfish about, oh, I'm comfortable in my life, let me be comfortable forever, or let me put myself out of my comfort zone so maybe I can be a good value for humanity and make life easier?
That's a good question. I think there's a certain type of people. Some people want to work a lot to make a lot of money, but there's as well a lot of people, they want to work because they either enjoy or they either want to build something great for the community or for the other people.
What initially got you into coding? Like what about it you were like, wow, this is fascinating, I want to do this for the rest of my life?
It's just that moment when you type something and it pops up on the screen. I think that is the very magical moment. Still, the day of today, like whenever I make something, it just appears on my screen. I'm able to make something within 10 minutes that works. I'm like, it feels so magical to able to create such a huge impact. And for us, it's just very easy. And I think it's still so satisfaction to do it. Like it's that click moment, like, hey, I made something.
What do you think about the role of robots in the future? I have a prediction that in the next 10 to 15 years, robots and AI will do basically every cognitive task better than humans can do. And the world will be a different world in that duration of time. What can you speak about that?
Yeah, I think it's already happening, right? Like, I think if we look at factories, a lot of positions are being replaced with robots that has one position to do so. And I think there will be multiple specific markets that will be replaced with production robots to improve efficiency. So I definitely feel like there will be a huge shift in what kind of jobs are required and how many people do we have in demand. Like, I think we will have more jobs that requires a higher education level than right now, because still a lot of jobs, you can take them that are not replaced by robots yet. But that needs to be a time of moment where robots are cheaper, and it will happen.
You just mentioned higher education. You yourself were a dropout. So how do you sort of connect that with the value of university and college? Do you think that's still relevant in these days?
Definitely. I think it's very important to go to school. It learns you multiple things. It might not learn the specific thing you want to learn into your future, but I think it makes you aware of like having a structure, going to school every day. I think it's difficult what benefit the school can be. Like, let's say you don't know what to do in your life. I think school is amazing for you because you will be able to see different aspects. You will learn math, you will learn language, so you do all kind of different things. And I think for the people like me, I always knew I wanted to do something with technology, computers or whatsoever. So for me, school was like, yeah, this is not for me. I know what I want to do. I just need to have the access to. I don't have access in that age because you're just required to go to school. So it depends on what kind of person you are, but if you don't know what to do, definitely go to school.
The T1 message.
Yeah, the T1 message.
What motivates you?
That's a good question. Pursuing my dreams.
To pursue your dreams.
And one of them is doing my hobby, and that's programming. Still, the day of today, it's still my hobby, and it's still something I enjoy. Even like, because I work for another company on the side, I don't like to work for people in general. I want to work for myself, as everyone else, of course. But just the fact that I love what I want to do, I just do it. It doesn't even feel work for me. So it's a weird position to feel that I still like to do from 6 years ago. But yeah, I'm happy.
I love the fact that you call it a hobby, because it's your favorite hobby. And the question comes that, what if that changes in the foreseeable future? Your favorite hobby shifts. What then?
Well, I think I'm good in that part because, as I said, I'm a hard worker. I can't sit still. So I think if I don't like programming anymore, I can always go back to electrician job or even do something new.
Build for yourself, work for yourself, because I guess that's the core identity that will never change. If your hobby changes, your core identity will never change.
Yeah, you're a whole different person if your hobby is different.
And lastly, what do you think is the meaning of life?
It means different for every person, I think. Every person has a different meaning of their life. You cannot enforce people to assume this is the way how you should live. I think everyone has their own way. Yeah, I think it depends on who you are and what you want to do.
What about in your way?
I definitely feel like I have a goal in my life and I want to build towards something big. And even though I don't know what it could be, I think just working every day and putting myself out every day, that's my meaning of life.
Brother, it was fantastic speaking to you.
Yeah, thank you.
And I wish you all the best in your endeavors.
For sure, yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. So this is the 𝐄𝐏𝐃 app.
Yeah.
Okay, let me, so I'll say enable, allow.
Oh, I might have to cut that out. Of course it does work. I mean, this is a test flight, so we blame on that.
Yeah.
But this is the real product.
Oh, I see. So this is this QR code. Somebody scans it.
I think we can even make it work now. They should update in real time, so...
I see. So there's the profile. This is the MVP right now. Then no tickets found. So somebody scans this on their version of the app.
Yeah, so you're at the club and I can scan your code because it's kind of your personal ID.
Uh-huh.
And I can just create a ticket for my app and as easy as possible.
Voila.
For the business and the customer. So
Yes, sir. We're gonna try to make it work here.
try to make it work.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this might be not. I need to open up another page. You have to cancel this video.
The developer lifestyle.
That happens if you do too many things at the same time. You have like too many things to think about. Well, it's just pretty straightforward. It's an events app, so you see the post and all the details.
You know what? It looks very clean.
It looks clean for a start, and a really cool part, this whole dashboard. Let's open the other browser. And then we just can manage it easily with, it's all built with AI, so everything you see, I have not touched the code, it's all made with AI.
That's crazy. Wait, the GPT sort of $20 per month, that one?
The Windsurf AI editor, yes.
Windsurf, okay. Yeah, we touched on the podcast.
It's not always correct, like maybe you use a specific library like TRPC and it's using a different implementation, and every time I tell, use the regular implementation, and I even have noted this in a document and it's not listening, so AI is not perfect yet.
Not perfect, but soon to be.
Soon to be, but it's almost ready.
Yeah. Okay, amazing. Well, when this comes out, I'll sort of have an update. You tag me on Instagram and I'll post it on my Instagram.
Definitely.
Amazing, brother.